And welcome to another show. You know, it seems that small business owners are optimistic and planning for growth in 2020. They're all optimistic, but changes in the U.S. trade policies increasingly impacting entrepreneurs have got a few worried, but then again, it seems to be all good news. Checking it out, we got hold of Sharon Miller, who's the head of small business at the Bank of America, and her team is responsible for providing access to capital in the communities we serve, as well as delivering advice and guidance to Bank of America's over 11 million business owner clients. That's some sort of database. Welcome again, Sharon.
Mark, thank you so much for having me.
Well, according to a new Bank of America study, which goes on all the time with you guys, you're always ahead of the game, it seems, exploring the concerns, aspirations, and perspectives of more than 1,000 small business owners right across the country. U.S. business owners are entering a new decade on a high note, with some, I think it's 82%, anticipating year-over-year revenue growth as they close out 2019. So it seems that entrepreneurs are confident about their business prospects with expansion plans, revenue projections, and the important one, intent to hire, remaining strong and steady from last fall. That's all good.
It is. It is very positive as we close out, this decade and move into 2020. So we are seeing and hearing from our clients that they're optimistic about the year ahead, and things continue to be very, very strong across the local communities we serve. And I think one important data point around that is consumer spending in the United States. It is up 5.5% this year on $3 trillion in transactions that we do at Bank of America, whether that's through checks, card, as well as ATM. So when you think about what fuels the economy, what fuels business owners, it is consumer spending, and that is strong, the underlying growth there. And that's really been going on, and we believe is sustaining the growth. And as we move into the new decade, we have momentum and behind us.
Yeah, well, that's all good. Economic outlook, concerns and growth expectations, the hot button issues, of course, healthcare costs, tax reform and trade. Now, this Bank of America Fall 2019 snapshot in the key findings, they're very interesting. Small business growth indicators remaining, steady and strong, but 82% of SBOs anticipate that their year-end revenue be higher than 18. 69% plan to expand in the year ahead, and 58% expect their revenue will increase in 2020. Next 12 months, they plan to hire 24% of them, and 12% of them intend to apply for a loan next year. So you must all be sitting around the table patting each other on the back or something.
Well, the underlying, strength is, we continue to see it. And I feel that, there are issues still, and there are concerns, as you mentioned in the beginning of the broadcast. There are concerns around healthcare costs, the political environment that is happening. Every time you turn on your TV, there's a new story. So there are concerns.
So sick to death of it.
But at the end of the day, That's it. But, at the end of the day, the business owners that I talk to and we serve across our country, which is 1 out of every 3 in the United States, they're telling us that, we're keeping our eye on what we can control, which is, our business, making sure we have the right talent. So the plans to hire. We have more jobs open in the United States than people that are skilled and qualified to fill them. So we really, as we go into the next decade, we've got to solve some of these issues around talent, around skilled labor, and making sure, because when you have a small business, which is less than 100 employees, every hire counts, and you have to make sure you have the right skills to do the job that's open. So those are some of the things we're talking to clients about when they're coming into our centers.
Mm-hmm. Well, concern has increased across consumer spending. I mean, up 54% from 47. The strength of the US dollar 50% to 46%. Corporate tax rates, 45% versus 40%. U.S. trade policies. Now, they're impacting more business owners. 44% of them apparently in your survey said that they're feeling the effects of tariffs, up from 41% in the spring. That's a 3% increase. How big does that affect small business guy versus the medium to large corporate, do you think?
Well, we're hearing that it does. I mean, about half told us that it is a concern for them. And what the business owners that have been affected, what they're doing, the effect has been on the increase of goods and supplies that they've noticed that they're getting in to create or to make or to manufacture. And some of them are raising prices to customers. So we have seen an impact, and you're right, we've seen an uptick of about 3 percentage points from the spring to the fall on their outlook around tariffs, and has it impacted them. I think the other thing is, as we are in the holiday season right now, the Black Friday, the Cyber Monday, we saw a significant increase in spending online. And so, at Bank of America, we work with our clients. We have 4,300 financial centers across the United States. And then you have another, whole digital and online capability that we continue to invest in to make sure that our clients have everything they need, including Erica, our artificial intelligence that talks to our clients through their mobile, through their phones.
Right.
And so all these things that we're creating to make sure that we are there for our clients, how they want to bank, when they want to bank, and where they want to bank, it's important to us, and that translates to the business owner. So for those sales that may have been down in the brick and mortars, the online was record-breaking sales. So, if a business owner today doesn't already have their strategy developed on how they're going to get that online presence, whether it be through servicing or through sales, they're needing to do that. And so those are, as we go into 2020 in the next decade, that's a demand that consumers have. And in order to be in business, it's very, very important to establish that online presence.
My word, it is, the e-commerce factor. I mean, lots of people think, of course, that, just being the online is the small business one-off guy or lady sitting in a kitchen doing something like that. But it's not. I mean, corporations now, mainly in the retail sector, but of course there's the service industry as well, that have to do everything online. The bricks and mortar factor of going to the store or going, to that office, it seems to be on the decline big time. I mean, there's places all over the country. How do you adjust that as a bank? Well, you just mentioned it, I guess, with all your artificial intelligence, but how do you handle it, noticing all your small business clients, having to go across to IT, e-commerce, online stuff? Do they talk to you? Do they get more loans to do this? Or, which way do they face it? How do they look at it?
Well, we're seeing, it depends on what industry, to your point. But I think that, if you have a traditional brick and mortar, let's say a retailer where you are in a local community, because small business is local. And that's why, too, at Bank of America, we operate in 90 local markets across the United States because, we want to be in the communities we serve with the local businesses, because what's going on in San Francisco is very different than in Miami and very different than in Dallas. So, we have to be present and local. And there, lending activity is up. We are the number one small business lender in the United States. We provide access to capital across the board. And I will tell you that our lending year over year is also up. And so whether it's, to get another location, to invest in equipment, technology, to your point, perhaps hiring more people, there is expansion happening, and it is a must. I mean, we know that for example, what we hear from clients, we go out and say, what do you need from us? Well, one issue is cash flow. Businesses, the number one reasons why businesses go out of business is because they didn't manage their cash flow properly. So we developed Business Advantage 360, which is a cash flow tool online that they can, access. So we're complementing our 4,300 financial centers, so you can still go in, talk to someone. We call it the high tech, high touch, because people want both. And I don't think we want to be present, we want to be local in the communities, but we also want to give our clients the capability to do things how they want to do it, when they want to do it, where they want to do it, because they're all over the world.
Well, you did right. And with Mark Bishop, we're talking with a Bank of America executive, Sharon Miller, and her team is responsible for providing access to capital in the communities all across America, as well as delivering advice and guidance to Bank of America's over 11 million business owner clients. So let me ask you this, Sharon. How would you describe the current small business market environment, and how are business owners really feeling now, heading into the new decade?
They're entering the new decade on a high note. I feel that, we have, the data points to not just how people are feeling, because yes, 82% tell us their year-end revenue is going to be higher than it was in 18. They plan to expand in the year ahead. All of that, those are some significant data points. But I'll tell you that underlying fuel is around consumer spending. And again, we are up at Bank of America 5.5% year on year on $3 trillion in transactions. And so consumers are spending. That is fueling the economy, that fuels business owners, and really points to a sustainable long-term growth. So as we turn the page, and we're in the holiday season now, we've seen record sales online for retailers as the results begin to come out. We're seeing growth, and when people are spending, when they're confident, and the local community, we're also hearing from business owners, I'm more confident about my local community than I am national, which is, they're closer to home. They have more control there.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Yeah,
it is a good thing. It is a good thing. So we are definitely ending this decade on a high note.
It's interesting to see, though, 66% of the small businesses, they say that their business is facing challenges during the holiday season, including balancing work, personal commitments, creating, customer demand, keeping up, doing the right thing, and keeping prices competitive. Now, stress levels come into any business owner. We're all small. I'm a small business owner. We're all battling to make a buck, but we're trying to spend more time for self-care. And take a vacation when you can, a little bit more time maybe with family and friends, because you need a balance, don't you, Sharon?
You absolutely do. I mean, wellness is so important. And I think, balancing your personal and professional, and as a business owner, as you know, you don't separate your business from your personal life. It's every day. It's there. You're everything. You're the CEO. You're the CFO. You're filling in when someone calls in sick. You're doing it all, and so it's very stressful. But it's so inspiring to be able to hear stories and watch businesses grow and understand what happened. They're not just changing lives of the people that work for their business, but they're changing communities. And when they're successful, so are we. So it's very, very inspiring. And a lot of businesses, retailers in particular, they're making most of their money in this time of year. This is their busiest time of year, so it is harder to take time or vacation, but you always have to take time for yourself.
Well, you do. There's lots of issues out there, but the strength, again, it always comes back to the economics. People are spending this and that. Trade policies, okay, we touched on that. How about business owners that you're getting back from your database? How are they feeling overall with the holiday season? Big expectations for a big Christmas or vacation period, holiday time? Or do they think it's just going to be, even a little bit?
No, we're seeing growth in the holiday spending season year on year. So business owners are generally feeling good about, what's happening, especially retailers and restaurants. There's generally more activity as you go into cities. People are eating out more. They're having holiday parties. There's a lot of activities going on across the country.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. And of course, you're over the East Coast. I'm way over West. We have a lot of visitors this time of year. They come down for our warm weather, of course, from, Canada and the Midwest and even over East. and our snowbirds, we friendly call them. But still.
That's right. That's
All
right.
So your leadership, I mean, you're often on national and local TV and radio, lots of interviews that you do discussing small business issues, advocating for the nation's entrepreneurs, because, you know, the old saying is they're the engine that drives the United States economy. What are the most common things or fears that you get from people with your experience on your travels?
Well, you know, the one, I mean, healthcare costs, that's something that always comes up. How do I provide the right benefits for my employees to attract the right employees? But I also, I mean, I think more and more as we, you know, people want to hire I think the skilled labor topic, it comes up a lot. I want to hire, I can't find the right talent. And so then we have to start working with entrepreneurs to say, well, what benefits do you have? Because you're in competition for those jobs, whether you're competing against big companies, small companies, but employees, prospective employees, they want benefits, they want health care, they want access to retirement plans. And these are the conversations we're having more and more, because as a small company, it can be, you know, expensive to put that into place. And so we have worked, we've got the benefit of our partnership with Merrill Lynch, where we are able to help provide those types of retirement plans on a scale that makes sense for, you know, the smaller business. And that's a differentiator for a business to be attracting the right talent. So those are the conversations we have. It's around, you know, how do I get the best people? Because in 100 or less employees, every employee counts. How do I make sure that I've got the right skills? How can I expand? Is it time to expand? Should I access capital? You know, should I not? How do I make sure I've got my online presence? Because that's going to amplify what I have in the local community. So, you know, these are some of the things. Political environment, of course, it's on the minds. But, you know, there's really not a lot that we can change about that. And so, I mean, I think we can over time, but there's always going to be something. There's going to be an election. There's going to be, you know, tariffs. These happen. We've been around for 200 years, and we've been through a lot of cycles with clients. And so we've been there for them then, and we're going to continue to be there for them, you know, throughout the next, you know, however long, 200 more years and beyond. But I feel like we're here partnering and want to make sure that we're helping the local communities drive growth.
Well, there's no doubt about you, Sharon. You're committed to fostering a diverse and inclusive environment within the company. You've been an active executive leader of Bank of America's Diversity and Inclusion Council, but you've also served on Merrill Lynch's Director Advisory Council to Management, held numerous market leadership roles throughout the country, and even with United Way there, with the March of Dimes and communities in schools. I guess you learned a lot from that.
I have. And, you know, to me, fostering a diverse workforce, I mean, I think it's more than just diversity. When you think about, okay, we all bring in different perspectives, but the real thing is inclusive. Are you fostering an inclusive environment? Because you can have diversity of gender, of race, of thought, but if you show up to work and you're not open or able to have a conversation, then that's an issue. If you can't speak what's on your mind, if you can't bring your whole self to work, that's an issue. And so, you know, at Bank of America, we foster that environment, and it has been just a tremendous. I've been with the company 23 years, and I'm very proud of all the things we do, not just for our clients, but in the local communities and for each other. And I think when you have the best employee base that can bring their whole self to work and speak up and speak their minds, it's going to get to a better outcome.
Of course it does.
And that's the kind of environment we have.
That's absolutely great. Now, if it's still bankofamerica.com/small business, yes?
Yes, it is. So, yeah, you can go online and check out our report. And then there's also a lot of other information that you can find there, whether you're just getting started out or thinking about opening a business or you're a very established business owner.
Yeah, it's like having a good mate around the corner. Be able to sit down and chat and feel like you're not all on your Pat Malone, Sharon. All right.
Absolutely. We're here for
Okay,
you.
Sharon Miller, terrific to speaking with you again. Head of the small business at Bank of America, and her team responsible for providing access to capital, critical in the communities that they serve. And don't forget, there's over 11 million business owner clients working with her and her team, so they must be doing something right. Sharon, lovely speaking with you again. Have a wonderful holiday time, and a big hi to all the team at Bank of America. Thanks for what you do.
Thank you so much, Mark, for having me.
You're welcome. Bye-bye now.